Today we're going to be working on the Honda Civic hatchback k20z1. Yeah, it's not the Type R anymore. I ended up taking that swap out. I'm most likely just going to be selling this car. It's just not in the condition that I want it to be in, and I'm really picky on the cars that I choose to build for myself. It's still a good car, don't get me wrong. Just a little more work than I would need to do to it to get it to where it's at, which is basically break it all down, completely strip it and spray it and everything. But that's for another time or another project that I got in mind that I'm going to be picking up soon. So this is the k20z1. Kind of left off hopefully like in the same place I did with the Type R. So I'll just go over. I got my pulley kit on, K-tuned, got my mounts mounted in. I'm working on fuel system right now, which was kind of what I was doing last time, and I'm gonna get ready to do wiring. So hopefully maybe we can get this car started today, and hopefully by the end of this week this car actually be running and driving and maybe seeing some races. So right now we're gonna start getting to the wiring. So on this side I actually took the old harness and just cut it, since it was not going to be used anyways and not really worth any money. So this black wire right here is going to be our starter signal. It's black and white actually with the white stripe. And then this over here, our yellow red, is going to be oil pressure. This is going to be our battery light, white blue, that has to be connected to the ECU B10 to give you the alternator power. And then we have tachometer, which is straight blue, which is going to go to the E-plug on the harness. And then the rest of these are just basically powers, switched powers. So we will be using a couple of these as well. I got my wires ran into the ECU already, or to where the ECU will be going. So let me get to that. And then we also have our charge harness, which I've pretty much explained in all my videos, but I'll do it again in this one since this is a new kind of wiring harness setup. I am using an 05-06 stock harness from the Z1 because that's what they come with. So I'll be showing you guys how to work this harness for people who want to just do budget and don't or can't even find the conversion harness, which is only like one person who makes it, which is Wireworks. So we're gonna chop this down actually right here, because this is where they kind of split. They're kind of connected right here, and this would be tacky, just kind of dangling there. So we got to cut it right here, and there's going to be a black with yellow stripe. That's going to be our starter wire, and the other one's going to be the charge for the alternator, which we'll be running to the fuse box. So right now I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start running this back inside so we can run the wires over to the C101 and E-plug. And then I'll come back and start showing you guys which wires it is to wire up to get this thing started. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. All right, so we are back now, and I kind of jumped ahead and went over a couple more things than I should have, but I'm trying to get this thing ready for you guys and start it so you guys can see it run. So I went ahead and threw a little intake on here for now. I got my pulley kit on here. As you can see, I got my grounds, which is, I got one for the intake manifold, one for the side cover, and then one on the transmission. You really need this one for sure, because if your starter does not have a ground, it will not start at all or crank over. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the fuel system real fast, since that's the easiest. Some people didn't really understand, so all I did was take my feed, I deleted the original fuel filter and just did an aftermarket inline filter. Make sure that out is coming instead of the opposite, because this the actual like microns will have a certain way of a flow, so make sure you have that as the out. It basically flows through the top, and it's going to flow all the way to the fuel rail. And then since RSXs are returnless system, we just return at the bottom, and I just feed it back right into the car. So very simple fuel system. While we're here, I got these heater hoses. They're directly from the RSX. This one's a little longer, so you just cut it. This one actually fits perfect. So that's how you get those going on there. I'm using the TSX header for now. I had some 1321s that were really badly made, so I'm running this with a just a 3-inch downpipe that JFab made. And that's all we got going so far. Got the shift linkage on as well. We just got to run like the slave cylinder line, clutch line, and a couple other things like axles, and we should be able to at least take it for a drive. But right now, let's start with the wiring. So the two wires I was telling you about is starter and alternator power source. So the starter one is the black and yellow one. So that one is running straight to the starter. It just needs direct starter power, no fuses or anything between it. And the other one is gonna go to the fuse box on this side, and then the other side is gonna transfer to the battery. So that's basically how the ELD works. It takes the power from here, makes sure it's good, and it gives it the signal to power it back on when the alternator or when the battery is actually dying. So those are the two wires that you have to run for your starter and alternator power. So right now, I can go ahead and take you to the inside and show you the wires we took from that side that we brought over here. All right, so from this side of the car, we have a couple wires. We have RPM, we have the starter signal, we have oil pressure, and we have the alternator light, which is the battery light on the dash. If that's not connected, the light will actually stay on and give you basically an indication you have a failed alternator. Over here, we'll start with the starter signal, which is the big black with white stripe one right in the center. And then right next to it is the oil pressure, which is yellow red. These two right here are just reverse, yellow and green. And then our main ECU powers, I'll go over them right now, is going to be you got 20, 19, and 9, 14, and 20 are going to be the three powers on here. So as you can see right here, or you can kind of see, this is a black with orange. I went ahead and T-tapped that to the yellow black one, which is going to be 14, because I couldn't find the source that it went to. But as long as you have these three together, 9, 14, and 20, to a switch power, your ECU power should be fine. And then we have our immobilizer. So our immobilizer has 4 necessary wires we will need to use. The first one is gonna be brown and yellow. And then the second one will be red with a blue stripe. And then the other two are gonna be white and red and black and yellow. These two right here just go to a switch power source. This red is your signal to the ECU, which is E28, I believe. And then the brown one is just the ground, which is gonna be E3. So as long as you have a matching key to ECU and immobilizer, that will all work. All 3 of these have to be from the same car or it will not work. As far as our relays now, you need 2 power sources coming out. So these 2 red and yellow wires I linked together, and I connected that to a switch power. And then I have this black and yellow wire. That's gonna be direct power, not switch power. So even when the ECU is off and the car ignition off, this still has power. The other one that's coming off the O2 sensor, we have these 2 right here. So we have red, white. That's gonna be a switch power source as well. And then we have this white one right here that goes to the O2 sensor and it grounds itself. So I have that wired like that. And then the last one for switch power is gonna be E9, which is a black yellow wire coming out through the harness, and that one's gonna be switch power as well. So as far as our power to ECU and our switch, we should be able to have clearing on startup as far as that. The other wires that come from this plug right here that I took off is speed, ELD, and MIL. So MIL is the orange or green with orange stripe. The ELD is going to be green with red. Our speed sensor is going to be blue with white, which goes to the E plug as well, E25. And then our RPM from the other side goes to E26, or vice versa. Either way, the blue one is blue, the blue white one is speed, and the all blue will be tack. Other than that, I tapped the original. I'm gonna have these bypassed basically because I'm still trying to figure out how to wire the fuel pump, but even right now it'll still work if you just have your wires jumped, so you can jump the fuel right here and that'll start the car up. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up the fuel real fast, and then we'll come back and get a first time start. All right, so let's look at our cluster. So oil pressure, check engine light, all working. Our battery light I still haven't actually connected, but right now we're just gonna go ahead and get this thing started. So as you can see, the speed sensor worked as well. Like I said, the rest of the next video I'll be cleaning everything up, and then I'll kind of go over everything again a little bit. As far as the wiring, we'll go over the O2 sensor, the fan wiring, and then the temperature sensor wiring that I'll have to hook up the actual kit to. This is going to be how I jumped it. These two wires, just the two top ones right there, if you wanted to do it like that. If I figure out the other way, I'll let you guys know on the next video. Other than that, that's gonna be it. Still got a whole bunch of other stuff we gotta do. We gotta go over, do the radiator, tighten up all the hoses. I gotta finish the shift linkage, and just go over a couple more things, tighten up the wires. So the next video we'll be dropping in the axles, half shaft, and finishing whatever we need to do to get this thing on a test drive, so you guys can see how it runs with the TSX header. And I mean, it's really just a budget swap, so hopefully everything comes out good on it. So if you haven't liked, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate everything you guys done and getting me monetized, hitting 1,000 subscribers, so I really appreciate that. Keep watching. Got a lot more knowledge to drop for you guys, so stay tuned. And if you need to get in hold of me on Instagram or on here, you can either message me or K20z1 on Instagram. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.